All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By, here as always with Mike Rossi and Andrew Garganese. What's up, boys? How's everything going?
What's
What's going
up?
on?
All right, so we have a loaded show. We're changing it up again in this show. We're going to be talking about our rest of season awards. We got that. We got rapid fire questions. We got our DK lineups. We got Mike's padlock, and we're going to do a little fantasy trivia to end the show.
I
So
like it.
let's just get right into this, huh? No pleasantries.
Sure.
All right. So let's start with our rest of season awards, and let's start with Mike doing his MVP the rest of the way. What do you got?
My MVP. So this is, just so everybody knows, it's second half of the year predictions. It's not what they did the first half. It's what we think they're going to do for the second half of the year. My MVP, I went a little bold on this one. Everyone that listens to the show probably thinks that I have Christian McCaffrey because I am a big Christian McCaffrey fan, but I went CeeDee Lamb as my second half rest of season MVP. He ends the fantasy season, regular season, with Washington, Seattle, and Philadelphia. And we all know those are just like home run matchups when you're talking about the passing game. And then you go to the playoff schedule and it's Buffalo, Miami, Detroit. And those are all defenses that can stop the run very well, stop the run, but they can't stop the pass. So they're going to have to pass the ball in order to do something in the playoffs. So I think CeeDee Lamb, if you have him on your team, obviously he's broken out the last couple of weeks. It's just going to continue.
Couldn't agree with you more because that was my MVP the rest of the way.
Hey,
Oh, shit.
Great minds think alike. I'm just gonna pile on to this, Andy, first, and then we'll get to yours. So last year he had 9 touchdowns. This year he's got 3 right now. I think Dak and him are both getting on the same page. Dak's starting to pick it up, right? Like you said, I love his matchup the rest of the way. I love he's got such a favorable schedule the rest of the way. Those Eagles are the worst team in the league against the wide receivers, or best for wide receivers, however you want to look at it. So completely agree with everything you said, Mike, and you took a lot of my points. So that's why I just wanted to get in there quickly and CeeDee Lamb the rest of the way.
Philly is the best matchup. Philly's the best matchup against wide receivers because they shut down the run, they can't defend the pass, and they have a good offense. So you have to keep up with them. That's like the home run for a wide receiver going against the Eagles. You're going to get a good matchup.
Yeah, no, it totally is. Do you have him in any leagues? Because I do not. And
no, I tried trading for him, but Matt in your league, Matt just won't give him up. He's like, no, CeeDee Lamb's my guy. And I was like, yeah, I understand why.
Well, he gave up a lot to get CeeDee Lamb. He gave up Tyreek Hill, I believe. He's made like 10 trades in that league. So along the way,
that guy, we turned him into a monster.
We've created a monster. A lot of it is your doing. I blame you for a lot of this.
Yeah.
You're his Frankenstein.
I'll take blame. That's okay. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
So, all right. Anyways, that's our boy. We agree with that. CeeDee Lamb, rest of the way, MVP. Andy, who you got? Beat that.
you know what? I like that a lot. He was on the short list. I copped out a little bit. I went with Austin Eckler. I mean, first off, Chargers are dropping like flies. They have Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, and nothing else. Quentin Johnson does not look like he's quite ready for the big games here. The Sundays he's looking like he's a Saturday guy still. And he's got an easy schedule for the rest of the season. They already had their bye. I think Baltimore, whose defense is outrageous, is like his one tough matchup for the rest of the year. And the Chargers are 4-4, so you don't have to worry about him resting at any point. They're not going to be out of the playoff picture, and they're not going to have like home field wrapped up, which matters going forward. So Austin Eckler, he's fully back. He's my MVP for the back half.
I like it. It's not a cop out. He's been hurt a lot this year. He was the number 1 point getter last year outside of quarterbacks. So
and we all knew you were going to pick a ball guy.
There's that too, us ball guys got to stay together. So, all right, Mike, highest points per game jump. Who you got?
All right. I got Devonta Smith for this one right now. I mean, he's not doing bad, but right now he's averaging 10.9 points per game in half PPR. But mainly It's Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert just, I think, fractured his forearm. Is that what they're saying? And he's having surgery. He's at least missing 4 weeks, but probably more than that. I mean, he fractured his forearm, so it's probably 6 weeks, maybe the rest of the season. And look at what Devonta Smith did last year in the 5 games that Goddard was out. His least targeted game was 8 targets. He had 8 or more targets in every single game. And Eagles' schedule coming up, it's awesome. It's Buffalo. I mean, I know, Andy, they've struggled against the pass lately. San Francisco, Seattle, Giants, and the Cardinals. None of those matchups are good against the pass. So the Eagles they're a pass-heavy team. Well, with A.J. Brown and now Devonta Smith, but there's only 2 guys that are going to catch the ball mainly, and Devonta's going to have a big uptick.
All right. I like that. You think that's going to make Swift a little more valuable the rest of the way too? Little dump offs more
Probably.
so to him? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right, Andy, who's your highest points per game jump the rest of the way?
Mikey and I are kind of on the same wavelength there. I went with T. Higgins. Horrible start to the season, so this is kind of a gimme here. And the half a point per reception, he's averaging 8.3 points per game.
Oh, wow, that's low.
That's bad. Yeah. So I mean, if we're talking
Yeah.
over the 8 games left, if he averages even 5 receptions a game, I don't know, 80, 75 yards, 80 yards, and he gets a handful of touchdowns, he's going to bring his average up by almost 4 fantasy points a game. Just by playing what we believe is subpar football for him. Their schedule isn't too crazy. He's played 7. He's got 8 left, so you're getting a little bit more out of him, and I think that's very reasonable for him to average 12 fantasy points going forward. So, biggest jump for me is T. Higgins.
All right. I
like
agree
that.
with you completely because that was my guy as well.
Because I have.
Yo,
Doug,
Doug, why don't
have
you get
your
outta
own
here?
mind, man.
I know.
Doug,
I'm
why
just,
don't you just get out of here? Mike and I got
You know,
yeah.
I don't think Doug did any research. He was like, yup, me too. That's
That's
my
exactly,
guy.
yep.
That's it. And I'm just going to keep on rotating between the two of you. Like, Mike, wow, that's my guy too. Yeah, I don't have much to add to that other than Joe Burrow was hurt to begin the year. He's looking healthy now. He's looking like a stud again. Chase just wound up on the injury report yesterday. He's hurt his back, I guess. I think that's
Yeah.
I hope it's nothing because I have a lot of shares of Chase. But if it is a little something, then that'll make him a little better. And also the 8.3 points he's averaged this year, that's also inflated because week 2 he got like 24 something, right?
Right.
So that is inflated. Last year he was 11.5 is what he averaged per game. So I think 12, that's exactly what I had in here in my notes, that 12 was going to be the number. It's super reasonable. I swear that's what I had in my notes.
Sure. We all believe you, Doug.
Anyways, great pick, Andy. I love it.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, Mike. Biggest letdown the rest of the way. I don't think I'm going to have the same guy as you guys on this one. So
No, mine's a little out there. I just want to real quick say, like, this is obviously it's an award show, but it's a lot of fantasy implications on this one because if somebody's the biggest points per game jump, we're basically telling you go trade for that guy. And in this instance, biggest letdown, it's probably get rid of this guy before they find out it's a letdown. But yeah, sell high. So my biggest letdown is it's Kyren Williams. I think he's expected to come back week 12, and I think if you've held him this whole time on IR, when he does come back, you're expecting him to come back and be the Kyren Williams that he was before he got hurt, right? That's why you hold him. But it's a completely different situation in LA now than it was when he got hurt. Stafford is obviously hurt, and if they don't start winning games, they might just shut him down. They might shut Cooper Kupp down and just save everything for next year. And then you look at LA's schedule, and in the midst of it, they have Cleveland week 13. They have Baltimore week 14, and they have New Orleans week 16. Those are all teams that are tough to run on. And if you're depending on Kyren in your playoff stretch, I just think that he's going to let you down. So if I was you, I'd go trade him now. Well, not now, but as soon as he's announced healthy, trade him and don't have that on your team.
Yeah. All right. Thinking outside the box there. I like it. Andy, who's your guy?
I mean, he's already been a little bit of a letdown, but I think this trend continues. I got Chris Olave as my biggest letdown going forward. He has not played his bye week yet, so if if you're a team that needs wins to get into the playoffs, that's a big hit. He's got a really tough remaining schedule, and on top of that, I mean, he really hasn't looked like we expected him to look coming into the season. I would have bet money that he finished the season as a top 20 wide receiver. And I don't know, we're looking at, I think he is in like the 28 range, but I mean, I don't know. I think he's going to fall off even from that, maybe end up in like the mid 30s.
Yeah, there's a possibility that he's definitely been a letdown already. So, like you said, it'll probably continue. So, speaking of that monster that Mike created, he was trying to sell Olave's ass to me this morning. So he's already looking ahead. He already knew what Andy was going to say. Mike, what is he ranked right now? You just looked that up?
Yeah, I did. And in points per game, he's wide receiver 32.
Wide receiver 32. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So even if he just continues that trend, I think it's a letdown because his name is Chris Olave and everybody just has so much name value on him that they expect better things.
Yeah, well, he was a second round pick in most cases, maybe early third, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of draft capital in that man, and he definitely has not lived up to it. And Andy says he's going to continue that streak. So stay away from Olave. All right. I do have a mind of my own. My biggest letdown. I hope I'm wrong about this, though, because I do have him in the league. Biggest letdown is Travis Etienne. And that is surprising because right now he's currently the 14th overall in half PPR, including quarterbacks, and he's RB3. The reason, I got some reasons here. So the reason I would love to sell high in this man. I'm going to try to in my league. He's only averaging 3.9 yards a carry. He has a breakaway percentage of 4%, which is 24th among running backs. It's a weird stat, but he hasn't. Everyone thinks he's like an explosive back. He really hasn't been. He's been very touchdown dependent. He's got 8 touchdowns, but he only had 5 all of last year. So is that going to continue, or are they going to turn into maybe more of a passing team with Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram? I hope that Lawrence is going to wake up and know how to pass the ball again. But he's got a brutal schedule. He's got the Niners this week. Weeks 14, 15, and 16 are Cleveland, Baltimore, and Tampa Bay, which are 4th, 8th, and 2nd ranked against running backs. I want to sell him high right now. I think he's still going to be maybe back in running back 1, maybe falls into that RB2 range. He's not going to be the RB3 the rest of the way. That's not going to happen. I mean, I think that's relatively easy to say, but yeah, I want to sell him high. What do you guys have to say?
The only league that I have Travis Etienne in is a keeper league. And I drafted him when he tore his ACL in round 17. And it's one of the leagues where you keep him where they drafted him. It goes up around every time. So I think next year he's a round 15. So, I mean, I hope you're wrong for the sake that I have a lot of value in him there. But I'm not.
He just wanted to tell that story. He just wanted to tell that. That's all he wanted to do.
That's next season, though. That doesn't really matter so much about this year. Right?
No, what I'm saying is that I have a lot of value in him being good. Like that's my long-term keeper. So
I think he's
if
good.
He's bad.
I just don't think he's top 5 RB. I don't think he's that. And he might not even be top 10.
His breakaway potential, maybe he's not doing it on the ground, but he has been doing it in the passing game. He has a lot of long catches for touchdowns. And he does have the breakaway speed, obviously, but you are right. I mean, if you would have asked me what Travis Etienne is averaging per carry, I would not have said in the 3s. I would have said mid 4s. Or higher for that.
But from the fantasy points he's putting up, you would have thought that for sure. And then, like I said, that schedule, I want nothing to do with that schedule. Cleveland, Baltimore, and Tampa Bay. And that's right in your playoffs. So you don't want that. All right. Speaking of playoffs, playoff hero. Who's yours, Mike?
All right. You call me a homer if you'd like. Well, not a homer. It's not a homer, but I've been talking about this guy and this team all year, but I'm sticking to my guns. My playoff hero is Bijan Robinson. It's gonna, to me, the only thing stopping Bijan, and everybody knows, is that big fucking turd. It's Arthur Smith, right? He's the only thing that's stopping this guy from being who we all thought he could be. The guy is explosive. He's averaging like 5.1 yards a carry. They just don't give him the ball in the red zone. But it's not just, at this point, it's not just fantasy football fans that are calling for Arthur Smith's head. It's Atlanta fans. And you have to believe that they're hearing this in Atlanta. The whole organization knows what the fans think of Arthur Smith. So he has two choices in my opinion. It's either A, you start giving Bijan the ball, or you get fired. And both of those aspects work for Bijan Robinson. Because if Arthur Smith gets fired, then whoever is the interim is just gonna fucking feed him the ball as much as they can. And then you look at his playoff schedule, and where I lost my spot, where is it in here? It's Carolina, which is the second worst against the run. Indianapolis, 5th worst against the run, and Chicago, 8th worst against the run. So if I'm right and Arthur Smith either gives him the ball or gets fired, those matchups, and he's getting 15 plus touches, that's a playoff hero.
Yeah. I mean, I hope you're right because the
Me
talent's
too.
there. All right, Andy, who is your playoff hero?
All right, I went a little bit with an unlikely guy. I went DK Metcalf. I'm on record as saying I think he's going to have a nice back half of the season already. And just like I said about Eckler, I think Seattle's kind of right in that playoff picture. I think they're 5-2 or something, 6-2, whatever it is, 5-3, and I don't think they're going to be clinching a playoff spot, and I don't think they're going to be selling or fucking fire selling or anything. I think they're going to have to play every single game. So DK, given his all, his matchups going in the playoffs. He's got San Fran, who is the 6th most friendly defense for a wide receiver. Then he's got Philly, as we already went over, the best for the wide receiver. Tennessee, 8th best for a wide receiver, and he ends with Pittsburgh, 5th best for a wide receiver. So that's pretty light territory for your playoffs.
Oh, I like it. I hope that's right as well. Though I think I only have DK in that analyst league, which that doesn't really matter.
The thing about DK is you're depending on Geno, right? Do you believe in Geno second half of the year?
Yeah.
Or at least playoff? Do you? Okay. Because if you believe in Geno, then that's all that matters.
Right, you can say that with every wide receiver, fucking quarterback matchup, right? Going through for everybody.
Well, Geno he hasn't looked right this year though. So
yeah, but
exactly.
All right. Or with it, I mean, there's another side to this coin, which is maybe he does look right this year. Yeah, last year was the anomaly.
I think that's correct though. But I think that's more accurate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I still think like they're fine. They got the talent, and I think they'll be okay.
All right. My guy, my playoff hero, I agree with you, Andy, about Austin Eckler, because that's my guy. Again, they are going to be in the playoff hunt come fantasy playoffs, so they're gonna be using them. His playoff schedule is Las Vegas, Buffalo, and Denver. Las Vegas is 29th ranked in points allowed to running backs. Buffalo is 17th, and Denver is 32nd. So that is a very nice schedule in the playoffs. This is another guy that you want to go trade for right now if you can. Not going to be easy. You probably should have traded for him like 4 or 5 weeks ago, but try to go get him right now because it'll pay off during the playoffs if you get there.
I feel bad for Denver because they're probably 32nd for points per game allowed, 32nd for running backs, 32nd for wide receivers, just because they gave up 70 fucking points to Miami. Like, you can't come back from that. They're historically
shouldn't
one of
feel
the
bad
worst
for 'em.
defense.
They deserve.
I know, but
deserve
it's-
everything. They deserve everything they get after that.
I know, but everything's so inflated. Like, they're the worst against the run. And well, yeah, Mostert had 5 fucking touchdowns or whatever it was that game. Or Etienne, I think they rushed for 5 touchdowns that game.
It is. I agree with you. It's inflated, but we're 9 games in now. So, we have some samples other than just that game.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Your bold prediction, Mike. What's your bold prediction for the rest of the way here?
My bold prediction is semi another playoff hero. I'm just not as confident as I am with Bijan Robinson, but mine's DeAndre Hopkins is going to win people leagues once they get into playoffs. And there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, it's Will Levis. Once playoffs start, he's going to have 7 games under his belt. He's going to have, he's going to feel comfortable in the pocket. He's going to have the chemistry. And most of all, he's going to learn that D-Hops just catches everything. Just throw him the fucking ball. He's going to catch it. And he has nobody else to throw to. So just throw him the ball. But secondly, it's about the playoff schedule, but in a completely different aspect than what we were talking about. It's not the matchups because they're bad against the pass. It's the matchup because he plays Houston in week 14, and Houston in the championship week. 2 out of 3 of your playoff games is a revenge matchup. And when you have DeAndre Hopkins, who's motivated he gains the motivation from things like revenge. You just know he's that type of guy. He's going to go off against his old team. And then in between that is Seattle. They're not good against the pass. So I just think he's going to go off in the playoffs.
Might be right. I love that they're going with Will Levis, though. He brings so much more energy to that team. He makes Derrick Henry look better. He makes them all look better in that offense. All right, Andy, what is your bold prediction for the rest of the way?
It's a good question. I actually got to go look. You guys talked me off the ledge in a couple bold boys, so I got to remember which one's which.
All right.
I went with Dalton Kincaid. Obviously, I have to get one Bills fucking pick in here. He's currently tied it for tight end 17 on the season. My prediction is that he will finish as tight end 6 or better, but tight end 6. Yep.
Finish or rest of the season tight end 6?
No. Finish. Rest of the season, I got him as like tight end 3.
Well, that's fucking bold.
I like 2 bold statements there. Yeah. He's real bold, this guy right here.
To think. Imagine what the other ones were.
Yeah, we had to talk him off the ledge to get to that.
Yeah. The other ones might have been a little too bold, but it's all right. All right, my bold prediction. Mine was adjusted a little bit as well, but I like the adjustment. So I got Jahmyr Gibbs is an RB1 by season end. Right now he's RB25. But the last few weeks, I think while DeMont's been out, he's really proven that he is super electric. And hey, that coach actually lets that first round rookie running back run the ball. What do you think?
Wow.
I mean, that's
look what happens.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah.
He's averaging 5.2 yards a carry. DeMont is averaging 4.1. He's also better in the passing game. I just think he's earned a bigger role the rest of the way. So even with DeMont back, I think he should be the 60. DeMont should be the 40. DeMont still might be the goal line back, but I don't think that matters so much because I think he's going to pick up his points everywhere else.
Yeah, I still like it.
All right.
I don't think that he ends up that high, but I do like the whole point of a bold prediction is to tell people that they're going to have a better second half, right? Like the bold prediction is obviously exaggerated, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs continues to do what he's doing even when DeMont's back.
I think he'll flirt with it at the very least.
Yeah. Dan Campbell loves the big, strong back that's just going to, run in between the guards and fucking get 3 or 4 yards.
He does.
I don't know if Gibbs is ever going to be that guy given the size, but you got to hope that he's earned.
Right? Yeah, he's earned it. Yep. You can't sit him now. Yeah. He needs more playing time than he had while DeMont was out there before.
Agreed.
All right, boys. That's our rest of season playoff awards or rest of season awards.
There was a lot more reasonable takes than I anticipated there. I think it's because there's no Joe. This would have been a really,
Yeah,
really
very
good
true.
episode for Joe. You know,
This
There
would
would
have
have
been a
been
great episode.
5
Joe.
unreasonable takes if Joe was here.
It would have been
you guys want
entertaining
to
as
know
hell, though.
bold?
Yeah. I'm gonna teach you guys what bold is today.
Emmitt
right.
Smith is gonna come back.
Yeah. That's a pretty funny commercial, by the way.
It is.
Sorry, those
It
are
is.
good.
Oh, it's a great commercial.
All right, boys. Let's jump into the rapid fire. So get ready for this.
Ooh,
All right.
All right.
Stretch it out. Let's try to get this thing in a minute.
Yeah,
All
Andy.
right. Yeah,
my
Andy.
bad, my bad.
All right, let's do it. Question number 1.
Under. Sorry.
Josh Jacobs versus New York Jets or Tony Pollard versus New York Giants.
Jacobs.
Over under 275 yards for CJ Stroud versus Cincinnati.
Under.
Under.
Buy or sell DJ Moore is a top 12 wide receiver versus Carolina.
Under.
Sell.
Sell.
Idiot.
Over under 9 catches for Amon-Ra versus Chargers.
Under.
Under.
Buy or sell Bijan gets a carry inside the 5-yard line.
Bye.
Over. Bye.
Sam Howell at Seattle or Geno Smith versus Washington.
Sam.
Gino.
Buy or sell Taysom Hill makes it 3 games in a row over 20 points at Minnesota.
Sell.
Sell.
Over under 1 touchdown for CMC at Jacksonville.
Over.
Push.
Okay. Gabe Davis versus Denver or Calvin Ridley versus San Francisco.
Calvin.
Calvin.
Buy or sell Alexander Madison finishes 18th or better at running back this week versus New Orleans.
Sell.
Sell.
All right. That's it, boys. Good job.
I just
think
want
we're
to.
close.
I want to call bullshit on the push. Fuck you. 1 touchdown is the obvious answer.
That's
for
the answer.
CMC.
Yeah. That is the
Yeah.
answer.
All right, over.
I couldn't say anything during it, though, but I thought the same thing when it happened. All right. I think we were close. We were close to it on that one. We'll see. Okay, let's jump into our DK lineups.
Yeah, me keep saying over instead of buy or
That
under
might have
because
fucked us up a
sell.
little bit.
That fucked it up.
Over
a little
or under? True.
Yeah.
bit. Yes.
All right. DK lineups for the weekend here. Did you guys change yours much last week? I don't think I changed mine at all.
I didn't change a player.
Yeah.
I think I moved a couple. Maybe
And
three.
I
Maybe
still
5.
don't think I legit
Jesus.
won that. Cause I mean,
I don't know how you won that.
I don't know either. That was weird. I don't think they counted that as a catch. That must have been what happened.
Yeah. So explain it real quick. You
To
were,
explain it, I
losing.
was right afterwards. I had lost, so I was like, shit, I just lost because CD Lamb caught that pass. Because the other guy had Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, someone else, but all I had was CD Lamb going. So it didn't matter what CD Lamb was doing because that was a push on that. It was that Dak Prescott throw that put me under. And something happened there. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but a couple minutes later, I got a notification saying I won $45 or whatever it was. So anyways, I don't mind it though. I'll take it. All right. So let's win the big money this week though. Enough of the $45.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I don't know about you guys, but I know we're putting this lineup in our, our friendly little matchups for $5 and there's 9-10 people in it, but I'm creating this lineup so I can put it in to win big money. I'm not creating it to beat 10 people. I'm creating this to try to beat thousands of people.
I aim for, I mean, we do this on a Wednesday night, so I aim for the $1 Million Maker,
Yeah.
ultimate boom lineup, but things change between, Wednesday evening and Sunday morning. So it doesn't always stay the exact same in my lineup, but I try to keep it, as realistic as possible.
So what I just heard out of Mike was I haven't beaten you guys yet this year in that
I won.
9-man.
No, I won.
Oh, you did one? Okay. All right.
Yeah. So fuck you, Doug.
That's what I heard.
You heard
That's what
wrong.
came out.
You heard wrong.
All right. Yeah, no, I do the same thing though. I put this in the other, in the 100,000 or the million one, whatever. This week I'm going to put it in the million one because I have that money in there to put into it.
Ooh,
There you go.
big
Ooh,
spender.
guys bragging.
Big
Guys
spender.
bragging.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna take that $45 out. I'm just gonna lose it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
That's what a degenerate
This is
gambler does.
yeah.
this is why casinos are so beautiful.
Yep. This is why. All right. Mike, who's your quarterback this week? Who you going with?
All right. I just want to go on record and say that I might have to change all of this if Kyler Murray doesn't play. Because I got Kyler, his first game back. This is the cheapest you're going to find him, $5,900. I think he took his time coming back from this injury and he's going to come back strong. So I have him as my quarterback.
Okay. Andy, who you got?
I got Will Levis. He's at Tampa Bay, so you know the weather's going to be fine. Tampa Bay's defense, it's terrible. And Will Levis is 5,300. So I mean, you get all that, you get the running possibilities for 5,300 on top. Feels like easy money there.
Price is right. All right. I went Sam Howell at Seattle. Seattle is not great against the pass. I think that's gonna be a high scoring game. And he was 5,900. Michael, who are your running backs?
My running backs, as long as this guy is under 10,000, he'll probably be in my lineup every single time. I got Christian McCaffrey again at 9,200. He just keeps producing, so I'll keep having him in my lineup. And then my second running back I have, I'm going to go with my playoff hero. I'm going to say this is the game that Arthur Smith gives him the ball a little more. I got Bijan Robinson at Arizona, who's just atrocious. You don't have to pass against them. 6,000. It's still cheap, so I'm taking the chance.
Yeah, that is cheap for that matchup. That's solid. Now, what is too much money for CMC? Is it ever going to be?
As I said, as long as he's under 10, I'm fine with it.
Oh, under 10.
Yeah.
What's the most? Has anyone ever been over 10?
Yeah, I think this year I think Tyreek was over 10 at some point early in the season.
Okay. I didn't know if they did that. All right, Andy, who's your running backs?
Like Mikey, I got Bijan. I mean, at Arizona, like you said, if this isn't the game where you get a generational talent, the ball, I don't know what is. 6,000 there, and then Demont coming back. The game against the Chargers. It's in LA. I tried to get as much stock of this game as I could, and I just couldn't. I couldn't get anybody in because everybody's so fucking expensive. But I got David Montgomery for 6,900.
All right. I'm gonna have to find a way to get Bijan in my lineup because for 6,000, that does seem like great money against Arizona. All right, I got Tony Pollard for 7,300. Another guy who hasn't really done much, and I'm hoping that this is the week that he does it. He's against the Giants. They're 23rd ranked, so it's a good matchup for him. And then I went with my boy. I went with Alexander Madison. It's his show again. So he was 5,500. Went back to the well there. And I think I'm going to change that for
your
Bijan.
wife must never ever worry about you cheating. You are the most loyal fucking guy. This is incredible.
All right, Mike. Who do you have for wide receivers?
My first guy again might change because apparently he came up in on the injury report today with a little hammy injury. So it's T. Higgins. If he practices Thursday, practices Friday, and he's fine, then I'm keeping him in there. But he's 6,500. He's going against Houston, and there's a good chance Jamar Chase doesn't play this game, so he will be the guy in Cincinnati. They're saying there's a good chance. He didn't practice.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. That's what I'm hearing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've read or heard or watched or whatever I did. And then my next wide receiver, I got Calvin Ridley. He's going against San Francisco, 5,600. I think it's a good matchup, and I'm just betting on this guy to eventually go back to who we knew he was. And then my third wide receiver is my flyer. It's JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 4,100. I think it's really cheap. He's had back-to-back weeks, I think, with touchdowns, and I think the trend continues.
Good price. All right, Andy, who you got for wide receivers?
Starting off with Chris Godwin at home versus Tampa Bay. I mean, versus Tennessee. He is 6,700. Like the matchup, and there was a little bit more than I wanted to spend on Godwin, but reasonable. The next one, DK Metcalf at home versus Washington. Like you just said about JSN, Tyler Lockett was moved to questionable today. So if he doesn't play, I really, really like this. He's 6,800, but I mean, he's just due for one of those DK games, right? Like 5 catches, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and some stupid haircut. And then I went Calvin Ridley with Mike as well. Another one that is just at some point, right? It's got to be Calvin Ridley. Why not this week at home versus San Fran? 5,600.
You guys are going for a lot of talented guys who have underperformed. Are they all going to perform on the same week, though? That's the thing.
Maybe, just
That's the
maybe.
hope.
Just maybe. And if they do, then you're a
If they
millionaire.
did, me and you will never see each other again. No.
All right, my wide receivers. I'm on Raw. He was 8,300. It was a lot, but he's against the Chargers this week, and that's a great matchup because they give up a lot of points to wide receivers. I stacked Howe with Scary Terry. He was 5,800. I like the price there. Again, I think that is going to be a high-scoring game at Seattle. And then I went a little lower here with Quentin Johnson. He was only 4,100, and I think eventually they're going to have to throw him the ball more. And he is super talented. So hopefully this is his week here. Mike, who you got for tight end?
My tight end is my quarterback stack. I'm going Trey McBride. He proved it 2 weeks ago that he has the talent. He came back, and I said he wasn't going to do much against Cleveland. I mean, that's a tough matchup. And he had Clayton Tune, who's the worst quarterback I've ever seen on the NFL field, throwing him the ball. So
That'll be the last time
just
you
a
see
wash.
him on the NFL field.
For sure. Just forget that. Take it out of your memory. He's got a better matchup against the Falcons, and he's got Kyler coming back, and he's still 3,500. So it's a good play.
All right, Andy, who's your tight end?
I went Gerald Everett because I mean, Quentin Johnson just does not look the part yet. And those secondary targets got to go somewhere. Gerald Everett's 3,900. We think this game's probably, the big matchup of the week. So hopefully he gets his.
He's got flashes of when he catches the ball and he just runs guys over. He's got some Taysom Hill in him. All right, my tight end, I went Trey McBride as well, and for all the same reasons that Mike said. So, Mike, what's your flex?
Flex, I had him in my lineup last week. I have him again this week. It's Rashad White. Doug, we talked about it pregame. Even if he doesn't do what he did last week, he's still the guy that gets the check downs in Tampa Bay. DK's a PPR league, so 5,800. I'm taking him.
Like
it. Andy, who's yours?
My flex player is also my biggest letdown in the second half. I got Olave at Minnesota. Minnesota's pass game, their defense is terrible. Pass D, he's 6,400.
Okay. All right. Another guy that I copied off of Mike's paper was T. Higgins. I also went T. Higgins.
Fucking guy. Didn't do anything on his own today.
And again, 6,500. And again, if Chase is out this week, then that's a no-brainer. I hope he's not. But like you said, Higgins also, he's got a hammy issue, you said today?
Yeah, he came up limited with the hammy issue. I'm not sure if it was from the game or from practice, but hopefully that's just like a little tweak and he's fine.
Okay. So maybe Tyler Boyd is the play this week.
Seriously.
All right.
They got a rookie that looked all right. Doesn't matter. Go. Keep going.
A rookie?
Remember,
we've already heard about your rookies who look good. We don't want to go back down that route again. Bajent.
Oh, it's his job.
All right, Mike.
All right, my defense. I got the Packers. 3,400. They were the best from that bunch. I thought they're going against the Steelers, and Pickett can throw a pick at any time.
Wow, that's a hard thing to say. Pickett can throw a pick anytime. It's good. You did good, Mike.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even notice I said a tongue twister. See, the whiskey kicks in sometimes.
All right, Andy, who's your defense?
I ran out of money. My lineup is very expensive. I ended up with Jacksonville, 2,400, but they're at home versus San Fran. So, yeah. But they get after the quarterback, so maybe a couple sacks.
You never know. You never know with defense. We say all the time. I went with the defense.
Doug, do you have either the Packers or the
no
Jaguars? Which one?
No, but I like the Packers. I was either going to go Packers or Pittsburgh, actually, at one point in time. That's probably going to be a low-scoring game. Probably the ugliest game of the week, I'd say. I'd call that right now.
Jets Bears.
Yeah. It'll be a battle between those two. All right, my defense, I went Browns. I went with the team that scored 30 points last week. They're probably not going to do it again, but they're a great defense, and Lamar targets. He'll make a mistake from time to time. All right, so those are our $1 million DK lineups right there. One of them.
And again, this is Wednesday, so make sure to check the Instagram on Saturday for the actual lineups.
Yes. Yeah.
The tweaks.
There'll be some tweaks for sure. Okay. So, Mike, you didn't hit it again last week, right? You went with Zach Moss last week.
All right, Doug.
I'm just saying. We're like 7 weeks into this thing, right? You've been calling touchdowns.
How many does he have?
So he's been calling touchdowns every week for 7 weeks. I think he's got 2. However, that being said, 5 out of those 7 weeks, those guys have performed. They performed over their projection.
It's true.
So
which is why
he's mixing it up a little bit this week. And Mike, take it away. This is Mike's padlock of the week, and this is how he's going to do it now.
I'm done giving touchdown prediction. That's hard to guess a bold touchdown take. That's really hard to do. So I'm just gonna call out somebody that, it's just a bold take for the week. Who do I think is gonna have a good week? So I'm calling for somebody to have a breakout game. I'm calling for this player to have the best game of the season. Right now, this player scored the highest of the season at 13.1 in week 3 against Miami. He's now healthier than he has been all year, coming off the bye. And he's going up against the secondary this week that has imploded as of late since they lost their star cornerback. Any guesses? Any guesses on who I'm going with here?
Jerry Jeudy
knows it.
Jerry Jeudy is
go.
my padlock of the week for a big game, best game of the year for Jerry Jeudy.
That is Mike's padlock of the week. Jerry Jeudy, huh?
Yeah, I think this is the week that it's coming out party. It's been Cortland Sutton, but I think we all saw Jerry Jeudy's talent, and this is the week that he shows it.
Okay, lock it in. All right, boys.
Lock it in.
We're gonna do a little mid-season fantasy trivia to finish the show here. There's gonna be 3 questions each for you. Do we want to do a bet on this? Is the question.
Sure.
Is this a 1 week thing?
For as far as fantasy trivia goes?
this is trivia. It's not buy sell under. Never mind. Sure, I'll take a bet. Yeah.
You got your little spinny?
I'm terrible at trivia though, for the record. No, that's not too spin bet. I'm so bad at trivia that I'm scared of the results.
You sure? All right. Well, you guys are gonna have to come up with something then.
All right. Go ahead. Go
All right,
ahead,
so
ask Andy the first question.
So
how about this one, Andy? I got the bet. It's from the wheel. We just won't spin it. It's the next episode that we are on together. You can only say nothing but good things about the person that you lose the bet to.
Pass. I'd rather get my chest shaved.
Come on, that's a good one.
All right, fine. That's the one.
Either that or all right, let's do that. Let's do it.
All right, that's the bet. So we got 50-50s, we got multiple choice, and we got true or false. You're gonna have 3 questions each. I do have a bonus question just in case you guys are tied going into it. All right.
Okay.
All right. So first questions, they are 50-50. We'll start with Mike on the first one. Who has more fantasy points on the year? Tony Pollard or Jerome Ford?
Oh my God, fuck you. This is half PPR, right?
Yeah, everything I'm talking about is half PPR.
I'm going Tony Pollard.
You got it right. I thought I was gonna trick you a little bit there.
I know
Tony
how your
Pollard,
mind works, Doug.
Hey man, Tony Pollard has 92.9 points on the year. Jerome Ford has 90.4. So it's way closer than you would think.
That's
right?
way too close. Way
Yes.
too close.
Yes. All right. So Mike's 1 for 1, unlike his padlocks. Andy, Who has more targets on the season? Jacoby Myers or Devonta Smith?
Wow. I mean, I'm gonna go with Jacoby Myers, but I don't like this question.
You got it. You got it. You guys are both 1 for 1. Jacoby Myers
And he
has
missed time.
He has 62 targets. Yeah, and he missed time. Exactly. He missed a game. Devonta Smith has 60. So, these questions, I try to make them like hard, but also like,
Close.
holy shit. Like, that's actually
Yeah,
real numbers there, because Devonta Smith was a 2nd-round pick. And Jacoby Myers was what?
10th.
Yeah, I was going to say 9.
More, yeah, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah. All right, boys. 1 for 1. On to your multiple choice question. And we will start this one out we'll start with Andy on this one. Which player is averaging the most fantasy points per game? Okay.
Quarterbacks. Okay. Oh,
So-
it's multiple choice. My bad.
Multiple choice. Yep. Which player is averaging the most fantasy points per game? A, Stephon Diggs, B, Justin Jefferson, C, Alvin Kamara, or D, Kyron Williams?
God damn. Am I allowed to steal if he doesn't get it?
So
You're
it's
allowed to-
Diggs,
No? Yes.
Diggs, Jefferson, Williams, and
Diggs, Jefferson, Williams, and Kamara. Yes.
I'm gonna go. Wow.
We need
I'm
some
gonna
like
go. I'm gonna
trivia
go
music.
Kamara. I'm gonna go Kamara.
Okay, going Kamara. It is
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson at 18.2.
Oh.
Kamara's 17.2. Stephon Diggs was 17.8, and Kyron Williams 17.4.
I got
I
literally
was thinking
dead wrong.
Kyron was going to be my guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, super tough question. You'd have to really, really, really know your numbers to get that one. All right, another hard one though, Michael. Which player
Okay.
has scored the most touchdowns this season? Keenan Allen, Zach Moss, Josh Jacobs, or Adam Thielen?
Zach Moss. I'm gonna go Zach Moss.
All right, he got it. He did get it. He got it on that one. So Keenan Allen has 5 touchdowns total. One of them was a passing touchdown. Zach Moss has 6, 5 rushing, 1 receiving. Jacobs has 5, and Thielen has 4. All right, you got 2, and he's got 1. On to our true or false.
50-50. I get
All
this,
right.
I win. And Andy has to say nothing but if I win, everything I say next episode, I go, Andy, what are your thoughts on what I just said?
Which is why you can't win. 'Cause I'm not gonna make it.
We could make it an all or nothing last bonus question too. If we get to
No,
that
we
one.
can't. No.
All right. We're gonna start this one with Andy. Andy, true or false? Kyle Pitts is currently a top 12 tight end.
I'm gonna say true.
That is false.
Ah,
I was trying to give it to you, Andy. That is
Yes!
false. He's 14th right now. Logan Thomas is the 12th. Kyle Pitts has 60.5 points on the year. Logan Thomas has 63.8.
Wow.
Yeah.
This feels great.
I was trying to put the pressure
Can I have
on Mike for this last
my
question.
useless question?
Yes, absolutely. So true or false? Joshua Dobbs is currently a top 12 quarterback.
True.
That is true. He is 10th, actually.
Yeah.
And I was surprised about that.
Yeah.
I guess you're not surprised about it. I was surprised about it. He's got 149.46 points. Goff is 12th currently at 138.26. Purdy is 13th at 138.02. All right. Do we want to do the bonus question?
Well, Andy,
go ahead.
sure.
Yeah.
Shut up, Mike.
Andy-
I don't have to be nice to you.
No,
this
listen,
episode, you fuck.
Next week, I'm not gonna be here all next week, so you have a whole week off before that happens. So you got some time. You got a while before you have to say nice things about me.
Hopefully, we'll just forget. By
Yeah,
then.
we might just forget a little bit. Let's do
Nope,
one more
nope,
bet
nope,
on
nope.
this last question. Let's make it more interesting.
Okay.
Mike, what was the second one that you were going to say when you said, or we could do?
I don't remember. Oh, the apparel. I was gonna do the apparel. He has
Okay,
to wear Eagles. I have to wear Bills.
Let's do it. Let's do that one.
Okay.
All right.
Just on this one question.
Just on this one. Are you guys down?
Guys got no skin. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, I have no skin in the game. Exactly. I was just gonna say. So you guys
Yeah,
down?
this guy
You guys down?
he's a fucking.
Andy.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, let's do it. Why don't you put a
I'm-
couple hundred on it?
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to make it fair for you to where you can get a little bit back. So I'm rooting for you on this one. All right.
Thanks, bud.
All right. So I actually used this as a bonus question preseason fantasy trivia. And so we're going to use the same thing again. I don't know if you guys remember it, but how many catches does TJ Hawkinson currently have this season? And closest to. This is the closest to question. So closest to is the winner.
How many?
How many catches does TJ
41.
Hawkinson currently have this season? 41 is your answer?
You shouldn't have said that before me, because now I can go
Yeah.
higher or lower. I'm gonna go 42.
Yeah, he prices right you right out of that right there.
Sounds like Mike, yeah.
He's got 60, man. He's got 60 on the year. Right?
Yeah, that's a lot more than both of us thought.
Exactly. Which is again is why I used that one again. Because
All right.
Dude's a stud.
I got one for you, Doug.
Okay. What is it?
No, we gotta some sort of bet. If you get this wrong,
Yeah.
you gotta wear one of our apparel. You get to choose whose it is.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Jordan Addison is a
Yeah, but-
top 15 wide receiver
Hold on.
on the year.
This is just again, it's either I have to wear apparel or I don't.
Yes.
There's nothing else. Okay.
That's it.
I gained nothing from this question.
No,
what I'm-
yeah,
okay.
respect is what you gain, Doug. You gain
Okay.
respect.
Say it again.
Jordan Addison is a top 15 wide receiver on the year. True or false?
That's false.
It is. He's 16.
Okay.
God damn it, Doug. Thought I had it.
I mean, he had one monster game. So that's
Yeah.
what catapulted him up into that realm.
Yeah.
God damn it.
All right, boys. Fun episode. Did everybody have fun?
That was fun.
Andy,
That was fun.
Up
you
till the
love
end.
the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Up until the end, it was great.
Well, Again, we have a week of we're Mikeless for a week, so you don't have to deal with it, and he'll forget. He's gonna have so much fun. He won't remember when he gets back.
what are you going on? Another fucking cruise?
Yeah. And the whole time I'm gonna be thinking about how many times I can get you to say good things about me.
Yeah, Kristen will love that.
Sorry, babe. I'm just thinking about Andy again.
Yeah.
Go on.
I just can't stop thinking about him. All right, boys. Good episode. So for Mike and Andy, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
Peace.